Mr. JAY-P, Jean-Pierre, not from France, African, I come from the Khoisan. Yeah, man, shout out to all decent hip-hop crew. Shout out to Emile YX, Black Noise represent. Yeah, man, so Mr. JAY-P, JP the Phenom, I've been a hip-hop artist 27 years. Yeah, it's been a while. And started out with a crew called Ill-Minded Society in Belleville South. From there, moved on to another crew, Native Sons. From there, moved on to another crew. So my whole music career has been inside rap groups. And yeah, you know, it just went on like that. Next crew was School of Thought, and the next crew was Super Dan. The crew after that was Black Noise, and then Mr. Links and I started Camisa. So that was kind of my progression from 1992 until 2020.
All right, so yeah, firstly, my name is Emile Jansen. My performance name is Emile YX because my surname Jansen is a Jansener or slave of, and so as people who are descendants of slaves and the local inhabitants and the Europeans that came to Cape Town, I decided that I needed to find out more about who I am as a person, and so a lot of my songs is about identity, finding out more about my origins, and also just, you know, helping others on that journey. That's really what I've been doing for a many number of years. I started out as a b-boy or breakdancer in 1982 with a crew. It was called Pop Glide Crew. And in about 1988, we started Black Noise. It's mostly the same guys. Initially, there were other guys involved. Actually, the name Black Noise come from a white boy by the name of Michael Hatting. We were called the Chill Convention before that, the name that Patrick Caramel came up with. And then Michael Hatting had suggested this name as something that is, well, both political, but also that black is the accumulation of all colors put together, and that, you know, being from the Cape Flats, we took on that identity over the years as being something that is completely like a Portuguese. And so that's really where a lot of my personal work has almost been directed initially as a member of the hip-hop community to grow the hip-hop following in South Africa as much as possible, first via b-boying, and then as Black Noise touring locally and internationally on our own. I grew up in Grassy Park. Black Noise is a mixture of guys from Retreat, Grassy Park, Heathfield, and Mitchell's Plain. And the concept actually for Black Noise as it is today was actually born out of a conversation held at Edmund and Michael's grandmother's place out in Lentegeur. We basically spent the whole day just like brainstorming ideas, and over the years I've sort of kept focus on what it is that we spoke about, and so Black Noise is actually those ideas manifested. One of the guys that was part of Pop Glide Crew actually sat in on that gathering, Timothy Bateman, who since passed away from cancer, lived in Australia for a while as well. And also there was Edmund Jones, who now lives in England, who was also part of Black Noise. So the concept of all of the elements, and also like a performance crew more than a rap group, became the dominant part of the conversation at that. So all of the elements, like meaning b-boying and MCing specifically, was part of the conversation then. And then only later, once those guys decided to like pursue, you know, 9-to-5s and get a job after the first record deal, did I go to Zulu Nation anniversary in New York in 1994, just after the first election at the end of the year, and met with Africa Bambata and like Zulu Nation members and Kool Herc and Chuck D, and just spoke to people that I met, and from the conversations I realized that I'm not really someone who wants to be a famous rapper as such. I'm more interested in the culture of hip hop, and so got younger guys involved from Mitchell's Plain, including Raycliffe and Samson and Gavin Jansen. And it was myself and Marley Miller, who was in Black Noise at that point. And then later on, about a year later, I think we included Falco, graffiti artist, as part of Black Noise. But I still have what do you call it? Turntables that I bought when I was teaching, and so I let Falco use that as because he wanted to become a DJ as well, and so he actually went with us. He got involved in the crew, and immediately, like a short while later, just went on tour with us to Sweden as well, where he represented like graffiti and DJing as part of the performance in Black Noise. And so Black Noise history is actually like a mixture of people that have been involved over the years that are interested in hip hop culture, and it's been a difficult thing to do to be involved in the community, and like people have their desire for you to make them famous, but that's not like my mission in life is not to be a part of a famous rap group. My mission is being to educate via hip hop, and so where I was able to get people to get paid a salary, I did that, and where I raised money for people to travel, like more than 200 people to Battle of the Year in Germany, I did that. And so at no point was it like, yo, I'm going to be a famous MC or part of a famous rap group or hip hop group. It's always been like, this is what I got into this for, and this is what my pursuit is going to be. And people, like, they don't like that you speak out truthfully about your pursuit for not really being interested in that. And so like you end up doing concerts and events, and people want what they want, but they won't do it themselves. So it's been a interesting journey as Black Noise. And I mean, now JP is in the crew, and there's two younger dancers that's part of the collective when we perform. But it's sort of like you end up doing concerts and events, and people want what they want, but they won't do it themselves. So it's been a interesting journey as Black Noise. And I mean, now JP is in the crew, and there's two younger dancers that's part of the collective when we perform. But it's sort of it's not a regular performing group. It's become a voice, for when people ask us to speak out as Black Noise, then we'll do that. This is very difficult to know exactly what people want from this conversation, but so I'll share this. And then if there are any other questions, you can ask me, and I will try and answer it as best I can. The general themes of the album, I think one of the questions that JP said was like, what does Black Noise stand for? And essentially it's a all elements hip hop crew. MC, the DJ, the b-boy, the graffiti artist, and knowledge of self is what we've always been about. We don't have one style of music, because we are entertainment performance crew, and our main focus has always been on giving people things that are entertaining, but also to rhyme about things that are not the norm. So I'll run through the tracks. Like Heartbeat is a sampled Bushman sound that is then looped and hip hop sounds added over. And so Heartbeat is about the connection between hip hop culture and First Nation expression. The DJ is the loop chant of the people around the circle, the playing of the drum. The MC is the storyteller. The graffiti artist is the rock artist. The b-boy is the trance dancer in the middle of the circle that helps for healing. And knowledge of self is the elder that shares knowledge and information for free with everybody.
So the album was actually conceptualized a long time ago. Emile had this idea of doing a series of albums back to back, So each year we would then put out a new album, but the subject matter would always address social ills. We're living in a time when I don't know what the excuse me what's going on in South Africa, but we felt that Black Noise has always been a crew that addresses things like this, and it was a time for Black Noise to come out again and say something. So we were abroad, speaking with a lot of people in the States at music festivals that we performed at, and they were always asking us political questions about South Africa, and that is kind of where this idea for this series of albums was born. So it's a very hard hitting album. The content is really lyrically directed at topics of the day. So yes, this politics, because not everyone's happy with our current leadership in South Africa, and yeah, and yeah, also about us as human beings being or taking responsibility for our planet. We only have one planet, and we today might be gone in 20, 30 years from now, but our lighties are still going to be here.
True.
And so now, if we fatal on the planet now, what about our kids?
There's nothing there.
So that's the kind of buzz, and then of course people forget that depending on how you look at spirituality, we in essence are only here on this planet, physically manifested for a very short period of time compared to our actual lifespan, which is spiritual. And so we touch on that as well. So it's a very diverse album, but it speaks to the heart of humans. So it's a far departure from the hip hop where you got your backpack and your hoodie on and it's like, yeah, we see beste and die veste and die kaap. That type of raps. It's really subject matter about real topics that's affecting our
Mahatma Gandhi's statement about be the change you wish to see in the world. And yeah, we added over a nice, like, funky riff so that the message just carries with a nice danceable beat. And then Black is Back is one of the first songs that the new Black Noise put together. Myself and JP and Nantel at that stage was the DJ. Then we did We Belong to the Land, which is a track about challenging the idea that you can purchase land when First Nation peoples around the world believe that they belong to the land. So it's just a different thinking on the issue of land. A Letter to God is about, questions that we confronted with when speaking to our maker, or whoever that maker is. And yeah, it's quite a personal, throw your hands in the air type of conversation with God. And then we have Mother Earth, Forgive Us, dealing with climate change. This is about the third time, I think, Black Noise. The first song that we did was called The Day After, that actually won a Metro Award back in 1993, somewhere there. And then I did there's another song that we did about Earth, about our role in what's happening. And then now this one, which is more of a apology for where we're at right now at this moment in time. The chorus is sung by Monox, Munir Adams, a really amazing singer. He features on a lot of the tracks. And then we have Lose Yourself, which is like a play on the idea of going into trance and being b-boys. Myself and the other b-boys in the crew put together a track about getting lost in the circle. And then there are 4 R's. It's play on like reading, writing, arithmetic, and then racism as being the other R. We got Tere MC to be on that track. Yeah. Also, again, playing on the way that content and information is basically biased to Eurocentric information or information from Europe, and so the other R has to be racism. Then Black Noise Matters is like a follow-up of Black Noise, Black Facts track about, contributions that Africa made to civilization. And then the last one, How Do You Do, is about greeting and about the lack of our ability to see each other and to greet each other. And so those are the 10 tracks of the first EP that celebrates 30 years of Black Noise. So we sort of, this is the first one, and we're sort of on to the next idea of what we're putting together for the next one. But yeah, it's been a while. Black Noise is back.
I like the song called "We Belong to the Land." It features Bernie Aman, ex-Goddessa member, and on that song we address the land issue in South Africa, because it's a real thing. There's a lot of perceptions about it. People feel like it was indigenous people in the southern region of Africa whose land was taken away from them forcibly by colonialism. And then furthermore, people's rights were also infringed on when slavery came around in this region. And so land ownership also wasn't there for the slaves. And then, of course, when that was abolished, everyone thought, hey, you're going to sing Kumbaya around the campfire. But then, as time went on, segregation and apartheid came in, and it escalated things with regards to the land in South Africa, because people were actually kicked off their land, those people who could acquire land, and forced to go live in other regions. And today, people are doing land claims, and the government is addressing it, but there's a feel from the people that it's not dynamic enough and it's not aggressive enough. And so Black Noise felt like this is something we want to speak on, and we speak on it from three different opinions. Each lyricist on the song kind of presents their argument or debate.
Nice. Anything else you want to say to your fans out there?
Hey, thank you so much for supporting Black Noise for all these years. I'm the newest member to the crew, so I've been with Black Noise for only a short period of time, but the legacy of Black Noise is really amazing. I started out as a fan of Black Noise, so 30 years later, the support is still there, and I just want to say thanks to everyone out there. Go out and get yourself a copy of Black Noise Matters. It's available on all digital platforms. You can also holler at Hilda Hood or the members of Black Noise if you want a hard copy.
And lastly, one thing you would say to an upcoming artist, just to help him along.
Yeah, of course. I can actually speak for hours on this topic. But the thing is, I would say artists in Cape Town need to stay drama free. Keep a clean karma and just navigate yourself in music very professionally. And also take accountability for your talent that was bestowed upon you by God. And I feel like God will be true to you and bless you with success and open doors for you if you show the Lord how serious you are about your talent.
Thank you.